mistake. But that's not necessarily the whole story.
Huh?
Inside, there's something else.
Huh?
It's not just the outer layer that's broken. Covering it up won't solve the problem. And the real problem is bigger than they think. Huh? To fix it properly, you have to fix it at the root. When done correctly, everything goes back to normal. And it seems there's still work to be done.
A few moments later.
The hide-and-seek game seemed simple, but Bluey hid it too well. But that item wasn't a toy. Bluey began to realize she had hidden something important.
A few moments later.
And the bigger problem, the item had actually disappeared. The game was no longer fun. It turned out the item was never actually lost. And it seems Bluey still hasn't learned her lesson.
Trick backfires. Mom is cleaning the floor, fully focused. Bluey and Bingo peek from behind the couch, exchanging mischievous grins. Bluey draws a simple trap plan on a piece of paper. Bingo nods excitedly and gives a silent thumbs up. They shake hands in agreement. Fast, funny montage. A string is tied to a chair. A pillow is placed up high. A small paper X is stuck on a slippery spot. The girls step back, admiring their work. Mom walks closer. The girls hold their breath, covering their mouths. Mom pauses, looks around suspiciously. Mom pretends not to notice and calmly walks around the trap. Suddenly, she gently pulls the string. The pillow drops right onto Bluey and Bingo. The girls tumble to the floor, surprised but unharmed. Mom stands with hands on her hips, smiling victoriously. Bluey and Bingo look at each other, embarrassed, then hide their faces. Mom pulls both girls into a warm hug. They all laugh together. Dad peeks in, accidentally steps on the leftover trap and slips slightly. Everyone bursts into laughter. Bluey decided to turn their home into a family sports day. The final station required coordination. Bluey tried her hand at the first race. The second station required dexterity. Bingo also wanted to join the challenge. The next station tested quick reflexes. Yahoo! Maintaining balance was a difficult challenge. Whoa! Everyone took turns.
Ha! Let's go!
The final station required coordination.
Yeah!
The final station required coordination. The family sports day brought laughter and positive energy. An ordinary morning in the garden. But it seems something is being hidden. Huh? The treasure hunt begins right in the garden. The more you dig, the faster your heart beats. The treasure is very close. Finally, the treasure has appeared. Treasure isn't always glittering.
Aha!
The real treasure is the joy of finding it together. Hey!
Oh! Ha!
Huh?
Aha! Yeah!
After many days of use, the family car also needs some maintenance. Bluey and Bingo wanted to help Bandit with this. Taking care of things is a way of showing concern. Bandit showed us how to check the important parts. Working together made everything easier. The car looks completely different now. Taking care of things is a way of showing concern.
Whoa!
A small thing, but it brings joy to the whole family. No shovel, no problem. A park or open grassy area. The family arrives carrying a small sapling and a water bottle. Mom points to the ground, ready to plant. Dad opens the backpack and searches inside. No shovel. Dad scratches his head and sighs. Mom looks around, a bit puzzled. Dad tries digging with his hands, winces and shakes them. Mom pours water on the soil. It only softens slightly. Bluey and Bingo watch, thinking. Bluey spots a strong tree branch on the ground. She picks it up and pokes the soil. The dirt loosens a little. Bingo's eyes widen. She nods eagerly. The family gently places the sapling into the hole. They fill it with soil. Mom waters it. The tree stands upright. The family steps back to admire the tree. Dad gives the kids a big thumbs up. Bluey and Bingo smile proudly. A light breeze rustles the leaves. An ordinary afternoon suddenly becomes extraordinary when a strange box appears.
Whoa!
Not all mysteries are scary when we face them together. Knowing when to stop helps people maintain composure. The moment of opening it always brings suspense.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow!
The inside of the box seems to be constantly changing.
Huh?
Whoa! Each time it's opened, it brings a new surprise. Curiosity gradually replaces the initial anxiety. Whoa! When exploring together, the fear diminishes.
Yippee!
Not all mysteries are scary when we face them together.
Bluey is sick. It was a pleasant morning, but Bluey started to feel unwell. Bingo realized Bluey wasn't as well as she had been earlier. It seems like Bluey has a cold. A little rest will help Bluey feel better. Bandit Bandit prepared warm water for Bluey to drink. Let out a loud sneeze. Taking medicine and getting some rest is essential. Bingo stayed to take care of his sister. A good night's sleep helps the body recover. After resting, Bluey recovered. The two sisters continued to play, but perhaps Bluey still needed a little more rest.
Bandit decided to spend the morning tending to his garden. But as Bandit got busy working, little mischiefs began to appear. Just a slight lapse in concentration, and the whole garden was thrown into chaos. Bandit began to realize that babysitting and gardening at the same time wasn't simple at all. Sometimes, even the most endearing acts of help can lead to a little accident. Hey! But in the end, the most important thing is the laughter and the moments spent with family. Bluey arrived at the beach with a big idea. Bluey began preparing the sand to build a sandcastle. The first sandcastle appeared. Bluey wanted his sandcastle to be even bigger. The sandcastle began to take on a clearer shape. Bingo also joined in to help build the sandcastle. Huh? Bluey found more decorations for the sandcastle. The sandcastle became very beautiful and special. The approaching waves made Bluey a little nervous.
Oh no!
Aha!
castle was more carefully protected. Bluey was very proud of his sand castle. Even a simple beach outing can bring great joy.
Huh? Whoa! Wow! Huh? Aha! Whoa!
A small action starts a chain of big events. Trying to fix one thing messes up another. Everything starts happening faster. When too many things happen at once, it's hard to control. Just one more second, everything will collapse. To stop, you have to cut in the right place. Do it right from the start, and you won't have to fix it later.
Huh?
And this time, everything is in the right place.
Night camping. Late afternoon, still bright daylight. The family loads camping gear into the car. Tent, bags, flashlight. The kids bounce excitedly. Dad gives a confident thumbs up.
Let's go!
Mom smiles. Dad and Mom set up the tent. The kids help hold poles and pegs. The tent is finally finished. The sky turns dark. The forest becomes quiet. Leaves rustle in the wind. The kids press close to Mom and Dad. Dad swallows nervously. Mom looks around, uneasy. A small noise from the bushes. Everyone freezes. Dad switches on the flashlight. It's beam shakes. Just a bug. No danger. But nobody relaxes. The family looks at each other. Mom gently shakes her head. Dad nods very quickly. The kids immediately run back toward the car. The tent stands alone behind them.
Amateur mechanic. One afternoon, Bluey's bicycle ran into some trouble. Bandit decided to fix the car himself, and Bluey became his assistant mechanic. The job started off quite smoothly. Oh, the wheel has been removed. Bluey still doesn't understand why they took the wheel out. Despite her doubts, the little girl decided to place all her trust in her bandit father. What was he doing bringing the wheels into the garage?
Aha!
He discovered the problem and went to look for an air pump. Oh, he saw it, he saw it. This time, Bandit wasn't alone. He had the help of the girl, Bluey. The final step is to reattach the wheels to the frame. Quality check good. The bicycle is finally working again. Although it was a bit messy, they did it.
As the afternoon draws to a close, the sky begins to change.
Whoa! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Each cloud seems to be telling a story. The sunset slows everything down.
Bye-bye.
The sun slowly prepares to go to sleep. The last light of the day is so gentle.
Whoa! Bye!
Another day is coming to an end. Silent moments are always memorable. Today ends on a warm note. A peaceful afternoon at home. Everything seemed normal. But somewhere, something started making strange noises. And it seemed there wasn't just one culprit. Chili's mother began to feel something was wrong. The sounds grew louder and stranger. The two sisters were very proud of their prank. But Chili's mother had another plan. She decided to believe it was something very scary, and then everything reversed this time. It was someone's turn to be genuinely startled. It turned out that the funniest prank was when the whole family laughed together. Bluey came up with the idea of turning the backyard into a fun obstacle course. The materials for the obstacle course began to appear. The first obstacle was set up.
Huh?
The course needed more jumping challenges. Bingo also wanted to try his hand at the obstacle course. The tunnel made the challenge even more interesting. Bluey tried to navigate the entire course. The backyard had become a fun and active obstacle course.
Bluey went to play at the beach.
Come on, let's go!
Two hours later.
After a night of gentle breeze, the garden was full of dry leaves. Bluey thought of a way to utilize these leaves. Bluey prepared a place to collect the dry leaves. Dry leaves were collected from many different corners.
Huh? Oh.
Bingo also helped collect the leaves. Dry leaves were collected from many different corners. A little water helped the dry leaves decompose faster. Bluey didn't leave a single leaf behind. The compost bin was ready.
Huh! Oh!
Compost will help the plants in the garden grow faster. Everything in the garden is useful. Today's dry leaves will become nutrients for tomorrow's plants. 5 minutes at the beach, sunny beach. The family arrives with arms full of gear. Tent, mat, beach bag. The kid bounces with excitement. Dad carefully sets up the beach tent. Mom spreads out the mat and arranges items neatly. The kid stares at the ocean, eyes sparkling. The moment Mom and Dad turn away, the kid runs straight into the water. A strong gust of wind blows. The tent flips and flies. The mat slides across the sand. Dad chases the flying tent. Mom grabs the mat. They exchange panicked looks. Cut back to the kid, still playing joyfully in the waves, waving happily at Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad look toward the water, worried but amused. The kid runs up from the water and hugs them. Behind the house, the small forest became the ideal spot for a camping trip.
Oh.
Bluey found a flat spot to pitch the tent. A clearing was chosen as the campsite. Bluey made use of whatever was available in the forest. The small tent frame gradually took shape. Bingo also wanted to help pitch the tent. Pitching a tent requires a little skill. The small tent began to take shape. Bluey checked to make sure the tent was standing firmly. The small tent was ready. A small campsite was completed.
Oh.
A small tent was enough for a fun adventure. A short trip always requires careful preparation. But sometimes, small things can cause unexpected trouble. People realize an important item has gone missing. When faced with difficulties, help always comes from good friends.
Aha.
Taking the right path makes the trip easier.
Oh.
Observing carefully helps us find the solution.
Oh.
Keeping things organized helps prevent loss. A fun trip doesn't need to be far, just with the whole family caring and sharing together. Bandit decided to spend the morning tending to his garden. But as Bandit got busy working, little mischiefs began to appear. Just a slight lapse in concentration, and the whole garden was thrown into chaos. Bandit began to realize that babysitting and gardening at the same time wasn't simple at all.
Aha!
Sometimes, even the most endearing acts of help can lead to a little accident.
Hey!
But in the end, the most important thing is the laughter and the moments spent with family. The fried chicken cook-off. In the kitchen, Dad and the two kids stand in a line. On the counter, chicken, flour, eggs, a frying pan. All three raise their hands confidently. Mom leans against the doorway, smiling, slightly suspicious. Dad rolls up his sleeves, looking very professional. The older kid follows the steps seriously. The younger one copies, but goes a bit too far. The stove timer beeps. Smoke fills the kitchen. Mom squints as she watches. One plate is burnt black. One plate is dripping with oil. One plate doesn't even look like chicken. Dad and the kids look at each other, then lower their heads sadly. Mom walks into the kitchen. She rolls up her sleeves. Gestures. Let me handle this. Dad and the kids stand behind her, eyes shining. A perfect plate of fried chicken is placed on the table. Dad and the kids clap loudly. Mom crosses her arms and smiles softly. Bluey came up with the idea of turning the backyard into a mini beach. Beach-themed items began to appear. A blue sea surface was created in the middle of the yard. The mini beach gradually took shape. Bingo and Bluey completed the beach. The summer beach-themed relaxation corner was ready. Bluey tried out different corners of the backyard beach. The backyard had become a fun little beach. On a cool afternoon, Water can also bring joy. Water balloons look so special. No need to throw, just observe. Even a small movement creates excitement. Surprises come so gently. Playing safely is also important. Joy doesn't need to be loud. A little game for a cool afternoon.
Bluey and the drawing pencil. A beautiful day. Bluey and Bingo are walking down the hallway. They both went to the toy room. Bluey discovered something.
Huh?
A pencil rolled gently across the table, then stopped unexpectedly. Bluey and Bingo approached the pencil. Bluey picked up the pen and twirled it around. Bingo came up with an idea. Bingo walked to the wall and waved to Bluey. Then tell Bluey his idea. Bluey agreed and started drawing on the wall.
2 hours later.
Wow, what a beautiful painting! Bingo also wants to draw. I wonder what Bingo will draw.
2 hours later.
Wow, this painting is even more beautiful than Bluey's. Bluey and Bingo are both a lot of fun.
One leisurely afternoon, Chili decided to organize a special activity. But for Bluey, playing sports always has to be different. A mini racetrack created right inside the house. The rules are simple, but the outcome is unpredictable. Winning isn't always guaranteed. But patience always brings joy. Sports don't need to be complicated. Just play together. A day of light exercise, but full of laughter.
Oh no! Oh no!
Bluey begins her treasure hunt in the garden. An X on the map points to a very familiar corner. Bluey digs down excitedly. Something is lying beneath the soil. The first treasure is revealed. Bluey recognizes it as an old toy. Bluey decides to dig a little further. Another old toy appears. Bingo is also curious about this unexpected treasure. This time, it seems to be a real box. The treasure turns out to be old toys that have been buried and forgotten. Old things can also bring new joy. Bluey begins drawing a strange picture on paper. The drawing suddenly changes right before Bluey's eyes. The drawing begins guiding Bluey. The drawing transforms differently in each location. Bingo and Bluey decipher the mysterious drawing. The drawing leads Bluey to the backyard. Whoa! The treasure is finally found. The changing drawing led Bluey to a treasure trove of creativity. A relaxing afternoon, Chili took the kids shopping. For Bluey and Bingo, every trip is full of fun. Shopping is also a way to learn how to help. Not everything needs to be brought home. Everything has its own order. Helping each other with small things makes everyone happy. The trip wasn't long, but it was full of experiences. Simple things make a day meaningful. Fixing the bike in the yard afternoon. A bicycle is leaning against the wall. The back tire is flat, completely deflated. Dad bends down and squeezes the tire. He shakes his head and sighs. Dad grabs a hand pump and attaches it to the valve. Mom stands beside him, holding the bike frame firmly. Sister runs into the house. She brings out a wrench and a cleaning rag. Little brother bustles around, hands over the wrong tool, then quickly switches. The wheel spins hard. The bike suddenly tilts. Mom almost slips. Dad quickly grabs the bike. Woo! The wheel pops off the axle and rolls fast across the yard. Little brother runs after it. Sister runs too. The whole yard erupts in chaos. Dad puts the wheel back on. Dad pumps a few more times. Dad spins the wheel to test it. Mom pushes the bike to the center beautiful morning. A father and son were preparing for a fun picnic. Everything was ready. And the fun was about to begin. The trip was going smoothly.
Yahoo!
Until an unexpected event occurred. An unexpected event occurred. Emotions change accordingly. Fortunately, help always comes at the right time.
Oh.
When everyone cooperates, difficulties become easier. A seemingly small task brings great joy. Double whammy. The picnic doesn't need to be far. Joy comes from simple moments of problem solving and from the between and between together, because repetition is what is most memorable. The garden looks a little dark today. The trees have grown so much. It's time to give them some more care. Just prune away the excess branches. The light is gradually returning. The trees are still healthy, but the garden is brighter. Everything is balanced now. With proper care, everyone feels more comfortable. Bingo has a stomachache.
Two hours later. Early to bed. Mom raises a finger and gestures. Early bedtime tonight. Dad and the kids nod seriously. The clock flips to 9 p.m. Everyone is still in the living room. The child sleeps peacefully. Dad sits upright, wide awake. Mom checks the clock, then sits back down. The clock reads 10 p.m. Dad has turned on the TV and is fully engaged. Mom sits beside him, scrolling on her phone. The child continues sleeping soundly. The clock shows 11 p.m. Dad changes TV channels. Mom smiles at her phone screen. The child shifts position slightly, still asleep. Mom looks up at the clock. Eyes widen. She looks at Dad. Dad looks back, sheepish. They both glance at the couch. The kid has been asleep forever.